Hey, this is my mom and dad again, Donna Virginia Loranger, and forever my dad has been known as the music guy. He's played bass at church for a long time and did a lot of gigs here in Anaconda. And I'm as interested as anyone to hear about the history of my dad and how he got started with music. So, how did all that start, Dad?
Well, gee, it started out when I was in high school in Utah. My older brother had an old guitar, and he started thumping around on it, and I kind of got interested with the guitar then at that time, and so I started learning a few chords and things in Utah, and then I bought some chord books and where I could learn finger positions and learn how to do some chords. And then about the time I was a senior in high school, I ended up buying a Martin guitar from one of the musicians in Utah that wasn't used it anymore. And so I had that when I came to Anaconda.
Well, not everybody gets to buy a Martin guitar when they're just out of high school. So how did you get money to buy that guitar?
I found $350 to buy a Martin guitar.
Wait, how did you do that as a teenager in Utah?
I was thrifty, and I saved up my money, and I worked, and I paid cash for that Martin guitar.
$350 in when? In the 40s?
50s.
50s?
Early 49.
40s, late 40s.
49.
Yeah.
Right around there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I saved that up, and so when it came to Anaconda, I had a 36 Ford and a Martin guitar.
And you were how old?
I was 19 when I came here.
And you were brought here for working on the smelter, right?
The smelter, and some friends came, and they had family and relatives here. And we all came, 3 or 4 of us came and hung out at Bell Creek and rented from one of my friends' aunts.
So how did you start playing like in a band and making money with music?
Just jamming and having fun, just playing. And I didn't start playing in a band until I got here in Anaconda.
Yeah, but you went to the military. I know you met Mom.
Yeah, I played the band in Utah.
Did you?
In the military, I mean.
In the military, yeah.
We had a band that we played on Armed Forces Radio Network radio.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And every Friday, we'd go 30 miles away to Nuremberg and record the show, and then on Saturday it would be a half-hour radio show.
Wow.
In the Army. So I started there. I just went and rented a bass from some German.
So you played the bass, not the guitar?
The big upright bass.
Okay, so and how did you learn to play the bass?
Well, I just learned by ear, listening, and just patience and fortitude, and just I had the desire and the drive to do it, and so I just thought, well, if I'm going to learn this, I'm going to have to do it the only way I know how is do it myself.
Right.
So I just taught myself to listen and hear, and so I'd listen to old 78 RPM records on the record player, and I'd figure out what key they were in, and I'd follow along with a thing, and then when they'd come to the end of the record, I just move the needle back over, start over again, and I'd do it till I got tired of that.
You know, there's a lot of people listening to this who have no idea what you're talking about right now. With a record player and a needle. And a 78.
Repetition. I just had the determination to learn how to play that bass.
And you came back to your sweetheart and came back to Anaconda after the war.
After 2 years in the military.
And you got married.
Korean War conflict.
Okay.
But I was in Germany, not Korea.
Right.
I was in the Korean War, but not the Korean country. I went to Germany for a year in Germany. I went 2 years in the Army.
Okay.
So then when I came back to Anaconda, that that's when I started meeting people and doing jam sessions and putting together some.
Well, tell
music.
us about this bass, your stand-up bass right here. A lot of people have seen that at church, at bars in Anaconda. What's the story of that bass?
I bought that bass in about 1950. About 49. I would have bought that bass at Lem Waters in Butte, and I paid $350 for it as well.
Wow.
And that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I usually paid cash for things. I didn't charge things.
Yep.
Except the car, maybe once sometimes.
Well, you've always been pretty industrious. I remember as a kid, we didn't always have a lot of money, but we always had. We never lacked. And tell us about, like, because I know you worked on the smelter, so we went from strike to strike to strike, wondering when we were going to have money. But tell them what you did to help us get through those times.
Okay. Well, it was it was interesting because I had already finished a 2-year course in TV repair. It was by mail, a commercial trade institute out of Chicago. So I learned how to fix TVs and built my own 14-inch black and white TV way back there in the 50s. And so that's when you can repair TVs. So I got into repairing TVs after I got finished out of school. And so I was a busy guy, and then I had a job on the railroad and repairing TVs and then playing music on the Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3 jobs. And I was ambitious, and it didn't bother me. I was willing and ready and able to do everything. So
So where did you play music for a job?
Well, I just started just with some friends, and I had a good friend that played the banjo, and he helped me a lot with some chords, and he read music as well as playing by ear, so he helped me a lot.
Tell who it was.
Eldon Strom, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people won't know who Eldon Strom is, but he was a good friend, and so he helped me a lot with music, and then as soon as I was able to play some music in some bars, I had to join the musician union, and I thought, well, that's kind of a nuisance, but it turned out to be okay because so I played at the Turf Bar and the Wonder Bar and the Carmels and the Elks and the Embassy. I played at the Embassy for 6 years straight in a row, and I played at the Jeannie Hampstead's Black Bull up at the Ranch Bar. I was up there for about 5 years. And so we just had different jobs and playing music, and I always enjoyed it. It was never a bad job or an effort or a dread for me. It was an enjoyment for me to play music. I did it because I liked it and wanted to, and it was a release for me, and I just felt at ease when I was playing music.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved doing it. So
yeah, when who you are lines up with what you do, you're living life on purpose. I love that statement, and it's when you love what you do, you never have a job, right? And then somebody hands you money, and it's like, wow, this is fun.
yeah, I played music and I was getting paid for it. I thought,
Yeah,
I'm doing something I really like.
yeah.
And so it's not much of a job, but it's.
So, Mom, with all these jobs, did you ever see Dad?
Yes. Sometimes some of my good friends would say, well, we're going to go out tonight and we want you to come with us. So I would go with them and where he was playing and enjoy listening to the music.
You didn't get to dance, though, and I know you love to dance, but Dad was playing the music.
Once in a while, she'd come down and dance.
Yeah, we kind of had to put our dancing together on hold while I played music for all those years. But it was a useful thing because strikes would come along. I'd get laid off the railroad for 2 or 3 or 4 months at a time, and when they did, I would always be forced out because of the smelter being out, but the railroad was not on strike, but they would be out of work because of the strike. And so I could draw unemployment, which was a meager amount, but I could draw it. And then I'd play music on Friday and Saturday nights, and it seemed like, I don't know, those strikes seemed to bring out the fun in people, because people always wanted to go dancing anyway during those strikes. And so I always had a crowd at the embassy when we played up there. And so I'd play music on Friday and Saturday night, and I'd end up with whatever I made there, and that would add to my railroad retirement money, and we could keep our house payments. It was $95 a month, and I made those payments.
$95 a month.
I never missed
So
one.
this house that I grew up in, how much did you pay for this house?
It was paid $13,500.
$13,500.
Yeah,
Wow,
now-
wouldn't it be nice to buy a car for
Now a
that?
car costs more than that.
You know, that's pretty crazy. Well,
That
you,
was way back. in the
I
50s.
remember being at the embassy as a little girl and even into my teenage years, and I think we had to leave by about 7:30 or 8 o'clock because it started getting pretty rowdy out there about that time. But the chicken and JoJo's out there and the spaghetti, oh my gosh, we loved the embassy.
It was a great place.
Hmm.
Working with Jim Edwards and Babbitt Martins, and
Hmm.
they still got the sign up there at the embassy.
Hmm.
They put that those storage sheds up there,
Hmm.
and that was part of the agreement when they bought the land, that they leave the embassy sign there, and it's still there today.
That's awesome. So I know a lot of people know you from playing at church at the Anaconda Catholic Community. So tell us what that's meant to you.
Well, it's been just a great, wonderful time, and it was always just something I wanted to do. And so Howie and I, we played together at the embassy.
Howie Thompson.
Howie Thompson
Mhm.
and I, and with some other players, but then we just migrated into playing at church, and so we had some people saying, "Well, I danced to them last night at the embassy, and now I'm listening to them at church today." And so we did that for a while. And then it just became more it was church, and I had a better boss than church. It was a good place to be, and I always wanted to be there. And now I'm just getting a little bit too old for it. So
Can you tell them how you started at church, though? How one of the nuns?
Sister Gregor came here to the house. We had her, I can't remember, another nun here for dinner. And we got visiting, and she said, "You play music?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I have." But I said, "I'm not playing now." And I said, "Well," she said, "What'd you play?" And I said, "Bass." I said, "I got a bass in the basement." She said, "You got a bass in the basement?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "Let me see it." And so I took her down to the basement, and she said, "You're going to get that out and play it at church." And so it was like an order. She told me to do that. So I decided not to do what she said, and I did it. I've doing it ever since.
Yes, and you said you're getting a little too old to do it, but you are 92 years old and you've still been playing the bass at church with, who are your buddies at church?
Well, Howie and Kathy and I actually played the piano. And then Joe Stronick started playing the drums with us lately.
Yeah.
But it's just too hard for me to walk, and my balance and all that good now, and it's just a job to try to manage that playing at church. But I'll let somebody younger step in that spot now.
Well, would you do something for us now? Would you just play just a couple of chords on your bass and just kind of end this interview with just, I don't know what you want to do, but you know what you want to do.
Just picking and grinning.
Just picking and grinning, right. All right, let's do it. And I'll follow you with my camera here. All right. The mom I know, Dad's playing music has been pretty special for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I enjoyed it
Do you need
for
some help?
many, many years.
Here, Dad, I'll help. Get that off there. It's kind of stuck on there. There you go. It's there. How's that? All right, I'll stand back here and. Picking and a grinning. Did you ever sing, Dad?
Sometimes harmony, but I never did sing lead.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty
I just
amazing.
let Howie do that.
Yep. All right. Well, Mom, go over there, stand by Dad, and we're gonna end this interview because I know you want to give your sweetheart a kiss. All right. There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening in. Good night.